someone came in and said there's a fight in the back, and I didn't know what was happening, but I went back there, and your dad was trying to pull into a parking spot, and this lady, Vicky, and Diane were in those spots shoveling out, and they said that Diane especially, she told me on two different occasions this winter, she says, I shovel out my spot. I'm like the only spot shoveled out. She leaves early for work. And she says, whenever I come back, your dad has moved his car into my spot. And she's like, that's just disrespectful to me. I take so long shoveling out the whole spot. And he just moves the spot with snow on it and goes into my shovel spot. And I didn't say anything. I mean, I'm like, I understand you're frustrated, but at the same time, there's no assigned parking, so I can't tell him he can't take another spot. So I guess it's happened a few times, and she's been upset by it. She's like, he did it again. And I'm just like, hopefully he'll stop doing it. I don't know what to tell you, but there's no assigned parking. So today, I guess she had just had enough, and she's like, she was standing in the first parking spot, still shoveling, and she had been there all morning, getting everyone's car out and shoveling in between everyone's car, just trying to be helpful. And then your dad is the first one. Everyone's waiting to pull in for the plow to be done, and he's the first one to pull in. And she's just like, "You're taking the first spot again. You never help anyone," and just got mad. So then she was standing in the spot, and he's driving towards her. So she's like, he would have run me over. And then when I got out there, your dad was screaming at both of them outside of his car. So I was just trying to diffuse the situation and say, look, get in your car and just move it out of the way, because where he had it was actually in the way of the plow at that point. He couldn't pull into the parking spot because people are standing in front of him because they're angry, and yet he wouldn't back up and just go to the next spot over. They were all open. I just wanted him to get out of the way so the plow could drive by and go to our front lot.
The plow had already been there, Sheila? And they were not shoveling out their spots. They were standing so that my father wouldn't park in either one of those spots. My father shovels out the parking, whatever space he's in, whether it's the first one, the fifth one, I don't care where it is, the front or the back, the sidewalk, it doesn't matter. He shovels out. He doesn't make any complaints if anybody else is going to park there. He suffers from a heart condition. He likes to park in that front spot, and it's not assigned parking like you said. I apologize for my voice. I'm going to have a panic attack. My father's going to have a heart attack, and I swear to God, if either one of these things happen...
For your help. You're always yelling, and everyone else is just trying to talk, and I'm just trying to explain it.
Listen, she approached my father yesterday when my father was outside of the car in the hatch of his car. She approached him and said, you can't park here. This is my spot. I've been here for 2 years. This is my spot. My father's always parked back there, just like he's always parked in the front. We've been here for 11 years. Mm-hmm. How dare anybody say?
If he's shoveling out a spot and his spot is completely clear, he leaves, someone's in his spot, and he takes another one that shovel out. Hey, that's what happens. But
that happens to everybody across the freaking country. She can't say that. And you can't tell my father he can't park. Stop.
I'm just trying to talk. So there's no reason to get that hyped up.
Yeah, but they're telling you they're shoveling. The plow had already been there. They were just holding on to their spots. Okay? They were just holding on to the spots so my father wouldn't park there because they saw him freaking pull in. That's it. And she approached my father yesterday and got him all upset again yesterday. We didn't come to you because it's not a big deal.
So what she's saying, her side of the story is that he isn't shoveling out a spot.
He shoveled out a spot for me, he shoveled out a spot for him, and he was parked there. He's the one that shoveled out that spot.
Well, you shouldn't be parked there.
Well, I parked there so the plow could come through. Okay? My father shoveled out the spot yesterday. He was parked in that spot. So don't be telling me that she shoveled out that spot. My father shoveled out that spot yesterday. He was there yesterday. So what is she saying to you? I shoveled out the spot, I shoveled out the spot. We all shovel out the spots. Hello?
Yeah. So your dad today said that he couldn't shovel because he had a heart condition or something. He was yelling. I couldn't understand it, but I thought that's what he was saying.
No, what he was saying to you was that he can't get frustrated and he can't get upset like this because he has a heart condition. And that's all you guys do. This is discrimination. You're telling my father he can't park in that spot? That's discrimination.
When did I say that he could not park in that spot? I told him to move out of the way from the plow.
Let me explain. Ela disse que mandou-te sair porque ela estava ali à espera. Porque ela estava a tirar a neve.
A tirar a neve é mentira.
I'm sorry?
What? I couldn't hear you.
No, I was actually translating to my father what he was saying.
Elas não tiraram aço nenhum. Quem tirou foi o troque.
I know, e tu já tinhas tirado a neve.
E eu já tinha
Eu já disse isso a ela.
tirado. para tirar o meu carro.
I know. That's what I just
E
explained.
diz lá ela que isso é discriminação e que ela tem lá uma carta do lawyer.
Okay.
Do lawyer.
Okay. Okay, let me explain it to her now. Okay. Like I already said to you, and he wants me to explain it again, he was there yesterday. He shoveled out himself yesterday. Okay? So, if they're telling you they're shoveling something out today,
Eles
that's
podem ver
bullshit.
tudo.
And when they were standing there, the plow guy had already come. Those spots are already clean. They were already clean. So they weren't standing there with a shovel, Sheila. I know you probably couldn't see, over that wall, but they
No,
weren't
it's
standing there with a shovel.
Yeah,
They
no,
were
I went right next to them because your dad was like right in my face too. So I was right.
He couldn't have been in your face if you went up to him.
What?
He couldn't have been in your face if he was inside the car.
He wasn't. He was standing outside of the car in their face in front of his car, yelling at them. When I got out there, he was outside of his car.
It's the second time they told him he can't park there, that's their spot or her spot, whoever. I don't know who they are, whoever that person
She
is.
doesn't, from what I understand, and I'll explain to her, is that, she doesn't have a spot. If she shovels it out and he takes it over and over again and he's not shoveling out a spot.
Whether it's my
of course
father,
she's gonna be upset.
whether it's somebody else. What if it's somebody else? She's gonna go complain about somebody else as well? No, she's just complaining about my father.
Because he's the only one that seems to be taking a spot.
Because he's the one that seems to park there the most, Sheila. He's been parking there like every day. For months.
I have no idea. I never go back there, so I don't.
I know, but he's been
where.
parking. I park back there on the other side. He's been parking in that spot for freaking so many months. So what is the problem now?
I have no idea. That's why I was just explaining her side of what I heard to you guys, and then I'll explain your side to her because I'm not there, so I don't know what happens. All I saw was the argument today.
I know, but my father shoveled out the spot yesterday. He's standing behind his car. She approaches him and says, "You can't park here. This is my spot. I've owned this spot for 2 years since I've been here." And my father turns to her and goes, "What are you talking about? This is not private parking. This is," you know what I mean? He's trying to explain to her.
Well, what she said is the other day that the other snowstorm when we didn't have a plow coming until a couple days later for whatever reason, she got up early. She shoveled out her whole spot, cleared off her whole car. She leaves to go to work and she comes back.
That's
at 10
life,
p.m.
honey. That's life. Welcome to the
No,
real world.
Let me just listen. Just listen. So she came back and he was in her spot and there was no shoveled out spot anywhere else. So she said, "Oh my God, someone would take a spot without shoveling out their own spot. That's just not nice. No, I know this isn't my spot, but I spent forever making it clean, and someone else takes it without shoveling out their own spot. It's just common courtesy."
Right,
So
but
she
if
went and
you would-
shoveled-
Go ahead.
she shoveled out another spot, and she parked there. She left later in the afternoon because she's a bus driver, so she comes and goes, and he was in that spot. So it was just
Well,
like
if my father was parked in another spot and he was able to get out, then she would have been able to get in.
right. That's what I'm saying is that I need to say to her, he's never shoveled out of the spot.
That's
ever.
bullshit. My father just shoveled out the whole car yesterday, and he shovels his spot out every time it snows. How else is he gonna get out?
So I know. I have no idea.
So this is
that's why
bullshit. Like, if I hear, she cannot say another word to my father, because I swear to you, Sheila, if something happens, we're gonna come down on wind management. Do you hear me? We're gonna come down on her and on you. Because you already have a letter from my father's doctor saying that he cannot get upset. People have started problems here from day one.
Yell at people.
That's him. See the way I am? But that wasn't the point, Sheila. My father shoveled out that
He
spot.
wants to make a point and get himself upset.
No, Sheila. If anything, we're in the right. My father shoveled out that spot. If anything, that was his spot. According to her rules, that was my father's spot, because my father shoveled it out today.
Diz lá, Ale.
Hold on one second, Sheila. Let me... Go ahead.
Diz lá, Ale, que essa mulher, já antes do senhor cair, mandou tirar de lá o carro eu.
Ela já tinha falado com ela.
Por quê?
E ela diz que não é a primeira vez que tu fazes isso.
Faz o quê?
Que ela tira a neve do espaço.
Que neve?
Não foi dois, pai, do outro.
Não, nunca.
Não,
Okay,
que o pai não
relax.
parqueou atrás.
Well, my father's saying the previous snowstorm, he actually parked in the front. He didn't park in the back. So she...
Oh, I see. Yeah. So I guess after the snow,
That was
he
it,
shoveled
yeah,
out,
yeah.
but he maybe moved from the front to the back. Maybe that was it. And maybe there was a parking spot in the front that was clear, but she didn't know about that. He just took the clear one. So you know. But
Não,
hey, I
porque
mean,
o
that's what
Jorge
happens in the
morava
snow.
ali e a gente
But I
ficava
guess
à
it's
beira
happened
dele.
a few times, and that's why she's got
My father's been parking back there, honey, since before George passed away. How many years ago was that?
Right,
So,
well, he did not during that snowstorm. So he was in the front, and then he took a cleared out spot in the back before the plow came.
Diz que a mulher
You know, when there were other spots that
limpou
were,
o
you know,
parque
with
tu
snow,
ias...
but he decided to take the one that
Mentirosa
wasn't.
do
It's
diabo,
just that, you know, when people shovel out a spot, it sucks when someone takes out.
my father shoveled out that spot yesterday, Sheila. You want to go tell her that the spot actually belongs to my father? Because he shoveled it out.
The previous
Tu
storm.
limpaste onde...
I don't care what previous storm, this storm, that storm, it doesn't matter. Whatever, there are no signs.
I'm not
Listen to
listening
me.
to yelling. I've said
There
it.
are no assigned parking spots, so people can park wherever the heck they want.
My own rules.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay then.
Trying
Okay
to
then.
dispute the conversation and the confrontation that your father was having with those two women. Everyone out there was saying he's taking another spot, upset. I went out there to say, listen, just get out of the way of the plow, and we'll, you know, and just stop yelling at these people. Just move your car out of the way. That's all it was. I'm not saying he can't park here.
Okay.
He needs to park here. And I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is I want everyone to get along. Everyone to shovel out their own.
But they
spots.
don't get along, honey, because we don't even bother anybody. We don't even talk to anybody. Okay? Everybody seems to have an issue. We don't bother, we don't talk to anybody. Well, why do people have an issue?
This
This is bullshit. It's
That's what
enough.
I'm saying. I have no idea.
Sabe
I
que eu
don't
falei
know
que
what's
já
going
não-
on from the stories that I'm hearing and
Sim,
taking
não sabe
spots that aren't
disso.
shoveled out. But clearly he's saying that's not true. So I don't know because
I came home, my boyfriend dropped me off this morning. My father had already shoveled out the snow yesterday because he called me and told me my spot's already shoveled out. He goes, I've already cleaned off the snow. And I know this because my mother was arguing with him saying that you can't go out there and do this. He's like, if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? So that spot actually is my father's technically by her rules.
Right.
So you can go tell her that.
Ela não queria que o pai partilhasse antes de cair
Thank
este
you.
nó.
They say ela